Have you ever met someone who seems to live in their own world? Someone who cares deeply about saving the planet but also disappears for days to recharge? Someone who can read a room like a book but struggles to explain their own feelings? If you've ever thought, what on earth is going on inside their head? You might have met an INFJ. These folks are like puzzles wrapped in riddles, leaving everyone around them scratching their heads. Let's peel back the layers and uncover why INFJs are often misunderstood and why that's actually their superpower. 1. The rarity factor. Why INFJs feel like aliens in a crowd. INFJs are the unicorns of personality types. They make up just 1 to 2% of the population. Imagine being born left-handed in a world where 98% of people are right-handed. Every day, INFJs navigate a society that doesn't quite get them. They're introverts who crave deep connections but often find themselves drowning in small talk. While others chat about the weather or the latest TikTok trend, INFJs are daydreaming about solving world hunger or the meaning of existence. Their brains are wired to ask, what's the bigger picture here? In a world that's obsessed with quick fixes and surface-level interactions. It's like showing up to a soccer game with a chessboard, you're playing by different rules, and everyone else is confused why you're not kicking the ball. 2. The future vision problem. When tomorrow's problems haunt today. INFJs don't just live in the present, they're time travelers. Their minds are constantly scanning the horizon for what could happen. For example, if a friend mentions they're unhappy at work, an INFJ won't just sympathize. They'll spiral into predicting how this job dissatisfaction might lead to burnout, strain their friend's marriage, or even affect their kid's college fund. To outsiders, this looks like overthinking. But to the INFJ, it's like watching a movie trailer for a disaster film. They see the cliffhangers and plot twists long before anyone else. This future vision makes them amazing planners but also turns everyday decisions into anxiety marathons. While others shrug and say, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, INFJs are already building 3 backup bridges just in case. 3. The idealism trap. Clashing with a good enough world. INFJs don't just want a better world, they need it. Picture this. An INFJ spends weeks organizing a community cleanup event. But when only 5 people show up, they don't just feel disappointed. They feel personally responsible for failing the planet. Their ideals aren't just goals, they're lifelines. While most people see a decent relationship or a stable job as good enough, INFJs see untapped potential everywhere. They'll stay up all night brainstorming ways to make their workplace more inclusive or their friends' art career more successful. To others, this looks like nitpicking. To the INFJ, it's like living in a house where all the walls are slightly crooked. They can't unsee the flaws, even if everyone else says, it's fine. 4. Empathy overload. Feeling everyone's everything. INFJs don't just understand emotions, they absorb them like emotional sponges. Walk into a party with an INFJ, and they'll instantly notice the host's forced smile, the couple arguing in the corner, and the coworker nursing a quiet heartbreak. While others are laughing and mingling, the INFJ is mentally drafting a therapy session for everyone in the room. This hyperempathy is both a gift and a curse. They're the friends who remember your childhood trauma and send you soup when you're sick. But it also means they're exhausted by crowded places, toxic relationships, or even tense TV shows. Imagine hearing 10 radio stations playing at once. That's an INFJ's brain in a room full of emotions. No wonder they need so much alone time to recharge. 5. The privacy paradox. Mysterious versus secretive. INFJs are walking contradictions when it comes to sharing. They'll tell a stranger about their childhood trauma but freeze up if you ask, "How was your day?" Their inner world is like a vault, filled with dreams, fears, and ideas they don't trust just anyone to handle. For example, an INFJ might write poetry about their deepest insecurities but panic if someone reads it. This isn't because they're hiding something dark, it's because their thoughts are raw, unfiltered, and deeply personal. To others, this looks like secrecy. But in reality, INFJs are protecting their sanity. Sharing too much feels like handing someone a grenade and praying they don't pull the pin. 6. The perfectionism curse. When trying your best never feels enough. INFJs are their own worst critics. Imagine rehearsing a 5-minute speech 50 times, nailing it on stage, and then fixating on the one sentence where your voice cracked. That's the INFJ brain. They don't just aim for excellence. They chase an impossible standard of perfection. At work, they'll redo a project 5 times, not because their boss asked, but because their inner voice whispers, "You can do better." This isn't humility, it's a mental treadmill that never stops. While others celebrate a B+ grade, INFJs beat themselves up for not getting an A+. They don't see achievements, they see checklists of what's next. 7. The small talk struggle. Let's skip to the existential crisis. While most people bond over sports or celebrity gossip, INFJs want to dive straight into the deep end. Ask an INFJ about their hobbies, and they'll end up discussing the meaning of life. They don't hate casual chats, they just find them as exciting as watching paint dry. For example, at a family barbecue, while everyone's debating the best burger toppings, the INFJ is quietly wondering, does Aunt Linda regret not pursuing her dance career? They crave conversations that crack open souls, not just kill time. It's why they'll remember your deepest fear years later but forget your favorite color. 8. The values versus logic war. I know it's illogical, but it feels right. INFJs are ruled by their gut, even when it defies common sense. They'll turn down a high-paying job because the company's ethics feel shady or stay in a rocky relationship because they believe in their partner's potential. To logical thinkers, this seems reckless. But for INFJs, integrity isn't negotiable. For example, an INFJ might donate their savings to a homeless shelter even if it's financially irresponsible, because their heart says, "This is why I'm here." They'd rather be poor and purposeful than rich and empty. 9. The burnout cycle, giving 200% until they crash. INFJs are the friends who'll drive across town to help you move, bake cookies for your breakup, and then stay up all night researching your medical symptoms. But there's a catch. They rarely ask for help themselves. They pour energy into others until their tank hits 0, then vanish to recharge. To outsiders, this looks flaky. But in reality, INFJs are like smartphones with no low battery warning. They keep running until they suddenly shut down. They'll cancel plans, ignore texts, and hide under blankets for days, thinking, if I don't disappear, I'll explode. 10. The identity crisis. Chameleon versus authentic self. INFJs are masters of blending in. At work, they'll laugh at their boss's lame jokes. At family gatherings, they'll nod along to political rants they hate. This shape-shifting isn't fake, it's a survival tactic to avoid conflict. But over time, they start wondering, who am I underneath all this acting? They might adopt hobbies, styles, or even opinions just to fit in, only to later ask, do I actually like this, or did I just pretend to? It's like wearing a mask so long you forget your own face. 11. The loneliness of being understood, but not known. Here's the cruel irony. INFJs are often called therapists of their friend groups. People confide in them about affairs, fears, and secrets, but rarely ask, how are you doing? They're so good at listening that everyone forgets they might need to talk too. An INFJ could be battling depression while comforting someone else's breakup, thinking, if I matter, why does no one notice? Their loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about being surrounded by people who see their warmth but miss their fire. Conclusion: the beautiful madness of being an INFJ. So, do INFJs ever make sense? Maybe not, and that's okay. Their confusing traits are what make them compassionate friends, fierce advocates, and relentless dreamers. To the INFJs watching, your depth isn't a flaw, it's a superpower. To everyone else, next time you meet an INFJ, don't try to figure them out. Ask them a weird question. Listen to their midnight thoughts. And remember, the people who don't fit in are often the ones who change the world.